It's certainly starting to look more like a bow now. I've been taking some off the edges to narrow the tips a bit and try and get the string line looking a bit better. I'll do a little bit more and then I'll have her back on the tiller again. This area is certainly going to be an interesting feature. And this pith is gradually disappearing, but the grain's very swirly there, so it's mostly rasp work there. You can really see how that knot was growing now. But it doesn't show through on the back, so is there a pocket of rot where the knot ends and was grown over? Slightly worrying that. I've got the up and over door up, so we've got some natural daylight which should improve the video. I'll put the string through the magic toggle one more turn, which is just giving us a little bit of tension. Narrowed the tips a bit, tried to take some off those outer thirds, try and get it coming round a bit more. It's a bit worrying about that knot area. I should really be pulling it to 120 now, a lot more. Left's looking quite nice. Right's looking a bit ugly. I keep looking at bits and thinking, oh, it's stiff there, and I think, well, is it really, or is that me? And it's deceptive because it's oval in cross section at parts. There's 100. Yeah, left's looking quite pretty. I think we're stiff here on the right. I mean, it's looking flat, but the limb is angled. I think I'll ease that off a bit more. Oh, I don't know. Perhaps I'll pull it a little bit further. You never get anywhere if you don't pull the damn thing. That was a bit over 110. It was getting on towards 28. So, yeah, we're getting close. Got to get that moving some more. Yeah, I don't want to. Let's get it moving correctly before I pull it to 120. I've popped it up on the tiller the other way round, just so you can see more of this nasty, knotty area. There's a comment on the last one about it's all bending in the middle and the outer thirds are stiff and just acting as levers. Well, I wrote a fairly full response to that, but what you've got to bear in mind is the natural deflex there also makes it look more like it's bending in the middle. I do tiller my bow, so I get the middle working, then bring the outers round. So yes, it's true to some extent, but when people say bits are stiff and not bending, you have to be careful. It just means you can't, the bend isn't obvious. What I'll do is I'll pull on the rope and look down the limb like that, and you can really see what's happening in terms of flex. It's like if you want to see if an arrow's got a bit of a bend in it, what do? You don't just look at it, you peer down along the length. Anyhow, this is just a quick look-see. Yeah, it all looks a bit on the wobble, but it just shows that knotty area. I'll put it back round the right way. I think the slope of the belly was making it sit funny on the tiller. You can see the belly slopes rather like that there. Anyway, it's supported at the centre. I'm pulling it roughly in line with the arrow pass. Yes, it's coming. Yeah, that right limb, that outer is certainly coming around more now. And Yeah, I think the left limb is a trifle on the stiff side now in comparison. And if you look at the white marks, chalk marks on the wall, it's looking pretty good. And the other comment was, you know, am I overstressing it? The point is it's got to come back to 100. If I'm making £120 bow, there's no point just pulling it to 50. We'll end up with a £50 bow. Now that I'm happy the tiller's looking better, I can pull it a bit harder. There we are, 110 at 28. So that's pretty much finished. So hopefully you can see what I mean. It goes very rapidly from we're barely braced to we're almost finished. With heavy bows, with lighter bows, you've got more time to play, ironically. Of course, we're not still at full brace, and if we assume I'm underweight, which I may well be, I've got this deflex I can take out, so I could reflex the limbs a bit, or try and take this bend out here. But the danger of trying to take the deflex out where that knot is that knot could just open up. So yeah, I'm getting a bit nervy now. I always do, especially with heavy bows, because if this goes bang, it's going to go bang and scare the bejesus out of me. But that will do for now. But you can certainly see the curves better. It hasn't taken a lot of work. I've been narrowing the tips a bit, trying to get the string line, well, trying to get it looking like a bow. But hopefully you can see there's a lot of sort of propeller twist. She's sloping this way here, and yeah, sloping this way at this end. Yeah, overall she sort of wants to sit like that, but there again you've got this sort of dip here with it sloping like that, and you've got this cutaway of the knot. It's all sort of touchy-feely. What I might do is put it on the tiller, tape a couple of spills coming out from it, and view it from that direction just to see if it's twisting. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, my go-to bow is called Twister. Yeah. Difficult to see how it's actually moving when I'm incapable of drawing it myself. But we're coming on. Oh, the other thing I did was to check, am I overstressing the bow? I put it back on the ground against the straight edge, and the distance from belly to the straight edge was still what it started out at, which is 2 inches. It's funny, they don't seem to take set until those last few inches of getting them back to full draw. And then when it's working its hardest, the bow will maybe take a little bit of set. But set's a funny thing. Oh, I don't want a bow that's taken a lot of set. If the bow hasn't taken any set, it implies that it's not quite working hard enough. It implies you could draw it that little bit more. So a tiny bit of set is okay, but you don't want something that's bent like a banana. Or if it hasn't taken any set, it implies you could maybe have removed more wood or whatever. I don't know, I'm leathering now. Yes. It's certainly going to have a bit of character when it's done. Right, what I'm trying to show here is how the limbs move with each other. Are they twisting? And we've got the two spills there, and you see the angle of this one shows how the back is at a bit of a slope due to the way that the stave is actually, you know. growing, if you like. So I'm going to pull the rope, and hopefully as those limbs come down, those two spills will remain in the same orientation. Let's allow for it coming down. We'll see. They don't seem to be moving too much. Right down to 110. Now it may show something, it may show nothing, but at least we've had a look.